There we go.
For Eugene Monroe, the gym is his refuge. Working out, he says, makes him feel better. For the former pro football player has a list of injuries a mile long.
There we go.
Tons of concussions, and with most of the concussions, I had neck injuries as well, and definitely have signs of arthritis in my neck. That bothers me on a daily basis.
3 knee surgeries, torn labrums, a bad back, broken and dislocated fingers. He may look like the picture of health, but looks can be deceiving.
You can have some Xavier.
Like when his wife recently asked him for help in the kitchen.
Wait a minute, you're the big tough guy from the NFL and you can't open the jar of pickles?
Even if your fingers are jacked up, you'll get it done somehow. I mean, we do get the jars open eventually.
Monroe grew up on the wrong side of the tracks in Plainfield, New Jersey, during the crack epidemic. Drugs were everywhere, including his own household.
So what was your attitude as a young person, as a teenager, toward drugs?
I hated any and all things to do with drugs. I was the poster child for, like, anti-drugs. I was leading the war on drugs in my own community.
Monroe played college football at the University of Virginia, then a 7-year career in the NFL, in Baltimore and Jacksonville.
So by and large, do you look back at your time in the NFL positively?
I loved it. Everything about it was awesome.
There is a price for awesome, though.
Everything's got a price.
The price Monroe and others pay is measured in pain. Pain that often gets worse the longer you play. And for years in college and professional football, the relief from pain was provided by opioids. He says the industry standard.
Old injuries become chronic injuries, which bother you daily, but you still have to perform. And opioids surely do help you push through that. And that's why so many people took so many of them.
Monroe says he was never addicted, but he did rely on them, especially after surgeries, until his last surgery.
A few days after my surgery, I was taking them, and my daughter was walking up to me, like, "Oh, who's this kid here? What's up?" Like, but it was my daughter.
You didn't recognize her?
I didn't recognize her, so I stopped taking them. Come say hi to Chicken?
Eugene's wife, Nerea, observed her husband's decline.
I definitely had a low moment, going through a little bit of depression, really feeling like I was helpless, not being able to do anything for him. And again, that's horrible.
Mommy's crying. I was crying.
It felt like the game of football and the drugs Eugene was being prescribed were taking her husband away.
I remember thinking that this is year 5 and he's talking about he wants to play another 5 years. I don't know where he's going to be, where his head's going to be. You know, right now it's just misplacing his cell phone or putting it into the refrigerator. But what is it going to be later? Is he going to know who I am? Is he going to wake up in the morning and not know who his kids are?
Monroe feels the NFL has made a bad choice. While league doctors write prescription after prescription for opioids, the NFL drug policy still prohibits the use of cannabis. In fact, players who test positive for cannabis can be suspended for a year.
Pretend you're in a hotel. You get in an elevator with Roger Goodell. You know you have a finite amount of time to tell him something really important. What do you tell him?
People are dying and we have a chance to stop it. And the changes that we could make could have a positive effect on millions of people. Let's have a grown-up discussion about marijuana.
How has cannabis changed your life?
Cannabis has saved my life. Cannabis has removed pharmaceuticals from my life in every shape or form. The only pills I swallow are vitamins.
Eugene is convinced marijuana works, but he wouldn't mind a little science to back it up.
I think it's possible that CBD or potentially other compounds in cannabis could really help with some of the opiate cravings and help people come off of opiates, especially for disorders like pain, where the opiates stop working, you become used to them and require more and more, which is where the real danger comes from.
Monroe's conversion to cannabis believer is best reflected in his investments.
We're actually looking into doing ethanol extraction.
He co-owns dispensaries and processing labs in 5 states, including Maryland.